What's up, guys?
You guys good? Goodly? Oh, Vicente over here. Obviously, it's been a bit since we last saw you compete in the octagon. I know you were kind of angling for maybe a spot on that Miami card, maybe against a Masvidal or rebooking maybe that Diaz fight. But I guess they came to you with Kevin Holland. I think when they announced this, fans were surprised you hadn't been matched up before, considering how long you've been in the division. So I guess, did you want to fight sooner, and what do you make of Kevin as an opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to fight sooner. After I had a quick finish in December, so I was, fresh to get back in there. But at the same time, we needed to line up an opponent that made sense. And I think Holland is a great opponent. Like you said, surprising that we didn't get matched up before. I think our styles match up so great, to have a possible fight of the night. And yeah, I'm excited for this fight.
Well, he was in here earlier, and I think his exact phrase was, he goes, "I hope Vicente can tap into the old Vicente that we'd seen that can go in there for a war." And he seemed like maybe you don't take damage as well as you have in the past, and he thinks if he touches you, you're not getting back up. So I guess, how do you respond to, not just him, but maybe fans say like, oh, maybe Vicente can't be in these wars anymore?
Well, keep an eye open on Saturday. You guys will see. You guys will see if I'm ready or not for war. And yeah, I'm excited. It's a big fight and a challenging opponent. I like it. He's going to take out the best out of me for sure.
Did you have to bring in anyone specific? Because Kevin is a pretty tall welterweight. He's obviously was ranked a middleweight at one point.
I mean, I didn't bring anybody specific because there at Killcliff we have so much talent, so many guys. I've worked a lot with Delano Taylor for this fight, Jason Jackson, also Gregory, Robocop. We always train together, and I mean, nobody gets bigger than that guy. He's really tall, very explosive, and kind of trying to get all these different guys to give me different looks because really Holland is unpredictable. He's not that kind of fighter that always fights the same. Sometimes he'll bring some crazy moves, and sometimes it works, so I got to be ready for that kind of unpredictability, but I feel ready to any area he wants to bring the fight.
And quite a few of Kevin's past opponents have brought in people and told them to, maybe not bring him in, but can you talk to me during the fight? Because, Kevin famously has full conversations during the fight. So have you incorporated that into your training as well?
Yeah, especially Delano, he did a little bit of that during sparring, and it's fun. It's funny, but it's fun at the same time. I watched a lot of Kevin's fights, and I don't know. I just think he fights the way that he is, and I don't get bothered by that. I think that he's definitely trying to play into, I don't know, into the mind of the guy, but I think it's going to be fun, and I'll enjoy it in there.
Last one for me, unrelated to your fight, but I think the first episode of Embedded, your son kind of stole the scene when you asked him, what do you do when you see an alligator? And his response was, fight it. So I guess, what are you teaching your son, and how many alligators are you running into down there?
Man, I'm not teaching him to fight alligators. He just thinks he has to fight anything that is dangerous, anything that I tell him, hey, this is dangerous, and no, I can punch it. Like, I remember I would tell him, like, hey, watch the road, because if you go there and a car comes, it can hurt you. And he, no, but I'll break it. I'm like, no, you're not going to break the car. So I guess it's good. I think he sees me training for so long and sees me fighting. I think in a way he's incorporating that in him. And he's a tough kid. And I don't know. I like it. It's a pleasure to be a dad and to be able to watch him grow.
Is he going to be a fighter?
If he wants to. I never imagined him being a fighter. I don't incentivize him to be a fighter, but if he wants to, what can I do? If it's his dream, if he really likes to do it, I cannot go against that.
Is he in school? Like, is he trying to fight kids in school too?
No, he's not fighting kids in school, and he's really good at that. That's something that I've talked to him a lot about, and I mean, martial arts is one thing, street fighting is something else, and I tell him, hey, we are not here to fight people, just for fighting. If you want to compete, we got to do it the right way, but outside we should be disciplined, and we should actually, instead of fighting people that provoke us, we should go and talk to them, hey, why are you guys like that? You mad? Is there something wrong? Can I help you? And that's what I try to teach him.
Vicente, right here to your left. You go into this fight with 14 finishes in UFC welterweight competition. Matt Brown, who's been retired for a couple years now, has the record with 15. I know you don't try for the finish, it's just kind of the way you fight, but what would it mean to you if you could tie that record in this one?
Man, that would be awesome, and yeah, I'm definitely chasing that record. Like you said, like I don't chase the finishes; they just happen. But that's my style. That's what I do. I go in there and I fight with all I have, and usually that's gonna end up in a finish because if either I find a submission or a knockout shot, it's gonna come eventually. And if I can get that record, man, that would be amazing.
Vicente, right here. Going back to kind of what you were telling your son about, hey, don't go into fights and that kind of thing. Does Dad go against what he did as a kid? Were you getting into fights as a kid, or?
So it was mixed. I grew up with martial arts very young, since because my mom is a black belt in karate, so I learned that in karate. But later on, right before I started training Muay Thai, I was around like 12 to 14 years old. I got into some street fights in school and at the street, with friends and stuff. And that's why I started training Muay Thai, because I wanted to actually get better at that fight. But once I started training and competing, my teachers in Muay Thai, they were very clear, like, if we catch you street fighting, you're out of the gym. And that's when I stopped. And especially because I didn't want to stop doing that. I loved competing. I loved doing that so much. And later on, I started to realize, hey, I got so much skill. It's not fair that I do that against somebody that trains nothing. And I have an environment where I could do that, which is a ring or an octagon, go out there and really compete against guys that are ready for it.
And obviously, because this was later in life, not when you were living in New Jersey as a young child, right?
Like, yeah, all that was in Brazil.
Yeah. But with the idea that you spent a little bit of time. How old were you? 6, I believe, when you left New Jersey?
Yeah, I was about to turn 7 when I went to Brazil. Yeah.
So how much, like, what kind of meaning does New Jersey have for you? Obviously, you're here. You left early, but how much of a home is this to you at all?
I was back to New Jersey almost every year after that because my dad still lives here. Here from the hotel, my dad's house is 20 minutes away. So for me, this is very familiar area. It is, one of my homes. I always say, like, I have 3 major homes, and one is Brasilia. The other one is New Jersey, and back in Chile because my dad's heritage, he's Chilean. So I've fought in all these places, and it's always, I always feel the support from everybody from New Jersey, and I feel at home for sure here. This is where I was born. This is where I had, like, my first couple of years. I remember how winters were so special because there was no snow and all that, which in Brazil is so different. So, yeah, I have great memories from New Jersey, and it's a pleasure to fight over here.
Are you getting more ticket requests here than you would if, say, you were fighting in Vegas or something?
I think so, for sure. I always get a lot of support, especially, like, people text me and messages, DM me, and all, like, the New Jersey, everybody here from New Jersey always supports and also is, like, asking me to be here, to fight over here. So, yeah, it's great to actually be here now.
Thank you.
Vicente, right here. So you had said on a podcast I watched recently that it's not easy to get a ranked opponent right now. Can you talk about the current state of the welterweight division, JDM beating Bilal, and just everything going on?
Yeah, so we got a lot of movement in the division, and I really think that's amazing. That's great. I like to have, like, all the fans with the eyes in this division. We have Makhachev moving up. We have so much new talent in the rankings, and that's one of the reasons I think it's been hard for me to find an opponent in the rankings, because a lot of these guys that are getting into the rankings that are new guys, they want to fight up, and I understand. I've been there. I wanted to fight up, and maybe other guys that are veterans, they look at me and like, wow, why am I going to fight this guy? Let me look for, a better fight. And that's why I've been choosing, like, I got to stay active. Let me fight Holland. I think that this is a great fight, a big fight, and he's a big name as well. So I think, like, this is what sets up for me to start moving in this division. I got to stay active because the division is moving. The champions have been changing, and I want part of that action. I want to be up there.
So you talked about not just getting records, but extending them after your last win and doing things that other people haven't done. What are some things on your mind that you think you could do very soon that could potentially lead you down that path?
I think the biggest thing is just finishing people. That's what I do. I'm really good at doing that. I never thought that this would be one of my records, but hey, I'm good at submitting. I'm good at knocking people out. I have the record for most Darces in the UFC. Anything that I can extend and is gonna add up to the legacy of myself as a MMA fighter. I think that's what I'm looking for. And at the end of the day, is about going out there, getting a big win, and doing it in my style.
Vicente over here. You and Joaquin Buckley fought. You've trained with Kamaru Usman. That's an absolute barn burner. Who do you think wins that fight next weekend?
I think that is an amazing fight. Really excited to see that fight. I'm great friends with Kamaru, and I have him on this fight for sure. But I think it's a much tougher fight than people think, especially because of the moment, right? Buckley has shown that he is really good. Not only explosive, but he's technical. He knows how to go in there and make the right choices against the opponents he's been put in front of him. So he is much more dangerous than people anticipate. But with that said, Kamaru has been, the most dominant champion in the last years of the welterweight division. He is still as strong and as ready to fight as he was in the past. I've trained with him not long ago, so I know that he is as dangerous as before. And when you face a guy like that, man, it's tough to get a win against a guy like that. He lost to Leon Edwards, and then he lost to Chimaev in the division above. So I really think that he has a lot to show, and it's going to be a big test for Buckley. And I have, for me, like, everything's on Kamaru. I think that he's favored for that fight.
That's going to be a great fight. And one more question from me. Killcliff has so many great high-profile fighters. Could you share the names of a few prospects that we don't know about yet?
So one guy I'm going to tell you is Delano Taylor. He's here with me for this fight, and we've been working so long together. He's knocked out Rory McDonald and has amazing fights. I think he's a guy that soon will be, fighting in the UFC. He really has, extremely high level, very good striking, very good ground game and wrestling. And let me see another guy. Man, we have so many. I don't know. I cannot point one specific name out now. I don't know. I'll leave it to that guy, but I can tell you we have a whole bunch of Russian guys over there that are working. Now we have some guys that came in from England that have also been looking good, and most of these guys are like 20, 21, 22. Another guy I remembered, Nikita. Nikita is a beast, and he's I think 20 years old, and he's trains like it's crazy. So it's a lot of talent over there.
Yeah. Just one for me, Vicente, over here. You mentioned the trash talk thing you were just saying about Delano helping you with it. We view you as like one of the nicest guys, I think, in MMA. So how are you going to deal with that on Saturday? Do you just ignore it, or do you have some trash talk that maybe we don't know about that you hide in your back pocket?
No, I definitely don't have trash talk, but I have two fists that hit really hard, and that's enough for me. I can talk with my hands, and I think it's just fun. I even look different. I don't think that Holland is really that kind of guy that trash talk is kind of disrespecting you. I think it's more about having fun in there. He's just doing his thing, and I mean, whatever he does, I'm still going to respond in my way. I'm out there to have a great fight and to beat him. At the end of the day, I want to, knock him out and get a big win.
Yeah, just one over here. We've got, obviously, Jack as the new champ. So how do you think he does against Islam?
I think that's a tough fight, but for both of them, I think that Islam is very dominant in his game. He's experienced. We know that he's a great grappler, great wrestler, has a lot of cardio, has experience fighting a lot of 5-round fights. So I think all of that is on Makhachev's side. Now, Jack is the bigger man. He's going to be stronger. He's a great striker. I think he's very, very intelligent. He showed that in his last fight. You know, his pace is amazing, his precision, and he hits hard. So I think that when you see that kind of fight, like, we have to see how Makhachev is going to adapt to the power of the 170 division, because we hit different. We hit harder, much harder than a 155er, and that's what Makhachev is going to have to go through. And on the other hand, I think it's a great opportunity for Jack just to show the kind of champion he is. You know, right away, his first defense is going to be against a big name like Makhachev. I think it's going to be a fun fight, and I like to have a long time we haven't had like a real striker as a champion of this division, and I like to see Jack as a champion. Thank you. Thank you, guys.